Hey everybody, it is your girl Tasha Renee, and I would like to welcome you back to my 30 Days of Juneteenth series. That's right, I am using 30 days to celebrate Black excellence in Black history, and we are on day 7. So if you've missed any of the days 1 through 6, please check out my YouTube channel, Tasha Renee ENT. I do apologize because the last video I told you underscore, but there is no underscore. It's just Tasha Renee ENT. Now let's go ahead and get into our disclosures. These videos are not full-blown presentations. They're just, little informational tidbits, to get you inspired and to teach you something you may or may not have known about the people that we're talking about this week. Each week has a theme, and this week is We Familiar, and we are almost done with it. I know y'all like, damn, this a long ass week. Well, I had stopped for a little bit, okay? But now I'm picking it back up. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this week up, and we're gonna continue on by honoring Miss Harriet Tubman for day 7. Yes, we're talking about Miss Harriet Tubman today because she is only synonymous with the Underground Railroad, but I think her efforts regarding anti-slavery goes way beyond the Underground Railroad. So let's talk about it. First off, do you guys know that Harriet Tubman is not even her real name? She was born Araminta Ross. Yep, that's her real name. So how does Araminta Ross become Harriet Tubman? I did a little bit of research for you. So let's get into the story. So Araminta Ross, she was born as a slave, and even at the time she was young, she had a really rebellious anti-slavery spirit, to the point where when she was 12, there's a story that goes that she saw a slave being beat, and she didn't like that, so she jumped in, to try to stop, the slave from being beat. And in the midst of trying to protect that slave, she suffered a blow to her head. And this blow to her head caused seizures and narcolepsy. That was something she had to deal with for the rest of her life. So she was enslaved, and then she was free. While she was free in 1844, she married a free black man by the name of John Tubman. So of course she took his name, John Tubman. I think she wanted to kind of get away from Araminta because maybe she thought that was a slave name. So she picked up the name Harriet, which is actually her mother's name. So it's her mother's first name and her husband's last name, and that's how she became Harriet Tubman. Now, when she was married to John, she expressed this idea of going back to the South and freeing her family. That was like the intention of these trips to begin with. It's like, hey, I got family that's still enslaved. I gotta go get them. I need to bring them up here. John, he really wasn't with that. He's like, ugh. Yeah, he really wasn't about that business. But as determined and as courageous as Harriet Tubman was, him not wanting to do it did not stop her. So she ended up taking anywhere between 7 to 13 trips. She ended up freeing anywhere between 70 to 300 slaves. And she pissed these slave owners off so bad that they had a bounty on her head for up to $40,000. But she was never caught, and she never lost a slave. Okay, now the trips and the number of slaves range because people don't think that she documented all of her trips. You know what I'm saying? So they know for sure it's 7 at the least, and it could be 13 at the most. She never really told about all of her trips, so it's somewhere in that range. Now for the slaves, that number is from 70 anywhere to 300 is because some of the slaves that were free, she did not personally free them. So she did not take them on a trip with her. Some of these slaves, she was just like, all right, you want to be free? Boom, here's the blueprint. You got to do it for yourself. I can't help on this trip. So I guess because she didn't free them personally, they're trying to say that those slaves don't count. But if it wasn't for her blueprint, they wouldn't have been freed anyway. So, like, just give her just due and her credit, because she did that. All right, she did. Now, even though she is like the mother of the Underground Railroad, the queen of the Underground Railroad, she did not invent it. The Underground Railroad was already invented, it was already there, but I'm assuming with her escape to freedom, she ended up like altering it, making it more effective. That way more slaves could be freed. Yeah? Did you guys also know that she was a member of the Union Army? Mm-hmm. Yep. During the Civil War, she was a member of the Union Army. She was a spy, she was a guerrilla soldier, she was a scout, and she was a nurse. Yeah. And so one of my favorite stories that I read about her is like when she was a spy, her thing was to dress up as an old lady and just, kind of walk around in enemy territory. And I guess nobody ever questioned why this old black woman is just walking around like that, especially during slavery time. It's just like, what is you? I don't know. I guess nobody ever really questioned that. But with her disguise, she was able to go into enemy territory, see how things were laid out and set up, and she was able to go back to home base and report what she saw. I think that's a cool story. I like that. She's legit dope. Yeah. She also lended her efforts to Susan B. Anthony and the Women's Suffrage Unit. Yep. And then, so she was definitely behind that as well. And she also, in 1896, she established the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged. So I'm assuming that's like a nursing home or assisted living facility, something like that for older people. Yeah. And so when she passed away in 1913. And it said that when she passed away in 1913, she was buried with military honors. She was buried with military honors. Research, some people are assuming that she was either the first woman to serve and be buried with military honors. And if she wasn't the first woman to serve in the military, she was the first one to be buried with military honors. So her work went definitely beyond the Underground Railroad. It went beyond freeing the slaves. It started before then at a young age, like so many of these people that I've learned about so far. And I just really hope that you're more intrigued about all of the other work that she did and all of the other accomplishments that she had, and put some respect on her name. She a vet. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to day 7 and listening to me talk about Miss Harriet Tubman. I will be back soon with day 8. As always, I hope you guys stay safe. If you are on the East Coast, especially in North Carolina, we are in a state of emergency. So stock up and get your butt home. Don't go nowhere. The hurricane coming. I'll be back with day 8, y'all. And as always, be careful, stay safe, take care of each other. And if you need a self-care day, take it. Until next time. Peace.